may not look like much, but it's a very historical area. Fifi, I was talking, thank you. We are at Fort Miami's, and this park commemorates battles and treaties with the British and American Indians that led to the westward expansion of the United States and statehood for Ohio. In the 1790s, residents of the newly formed United States were starting to move west into the Northwest Territory, a region controlled by American Indians and claimed by the British. To protect settlers, President George Washington sent General Anthony Wayne and a force of about 3,000 regulars and militia into the territory to build a series of forts between the Ohio and Maumee rivers. Waiting for them were about 1,000 warriors. Wayne's decisive victory in the battle led to other conflicts, treaties, and eventually the War of 1812 with the British. The United States ultimately gained control of the territory. So there's the battlefield, which we've been to, and the monument, which we have also shown in a video. But here, right now, is where we are. So Fort Miami's is located on River Road about 4 miles east of the battlefield. Earthen mounds you see today were part of the fort built in 1794 by the British to stop U.S. military advances in the Maumee Valley and to solidify American Indian support against the westward spreading of U.S. settlements. The British later used the fort site in the War of 1812. Fallen Timbers Battlefield and Fort Miami's National Historic Site, an affiliated unit of the National Park System, is managed by the Metroparks System area. I'm not going to read all of this to you. I'll try to get close enough so that you can read it if you want to. The British constructed Fort Miami's in 1794 at the foot of the rapids. This prevented a U.S. advance on British-controlled Detroit and challenged American westward expansion. The British abandoned Fort Miami's in the years following, but in 1813 they reoccupied it to battle American forces at Fort Meigs. So letters from 1794. So I'll try to get close enough. Pause it if you'd like to read them. Fort Miami's. On this site in 1794, the British built Fort Miami's to block General Mad Anthony Wayne's expected march on Detroit. Its strategic location commanded both the land and water routes in the Maumee Valley. Go ahead and pause it if you want to read the rest. And there's kind of a little map. We actually still have some remnants of some of these forts here in Toledo. The Indian Wars, 1790 to 1795, so this is the other side of the Fort Miami's plaque. So when American pioneers attempted to settle the area north and west of the Ohio River following the Ordinance of 1787, the Indians, aided by the British in Canada, fought valiantly and fiercely for their homes in the Ohio country. It required the efforts of 3 American armies to break the Indian resistance. Okay, so if you want to read the whole plaque, go ahead and pause it. Like I said, this is just a very historical area. This is directly behind that last plaque. So the 41st Regiment of Foot War of 1812. Near this site in the War of 1812 stood the British encampment during the first siege of Fort Meigs from May 1st to 9th, 1813. The marker, so this is the other side of that plaque, so Private Patrick Russell. If you're interested, go ahead and pause. So there's all those mounds that they were talking about. We'll head out on that little overlook over there to oversee them, but nice little hilly area it looks like from here. The formidable Fort Miami. Built between April and August of 1794 by British troops. Housed over 130 British troops. See, today that doesn't seem like a lot. Archaeological excavations in 1982 unearthed nails, wall timbers, bottle fragments, regimental buttons, and other artifacts. All that remains today are the earthworks. So that's what it originally looked like. And there's those hills and what we have now. And the little white husky tail, of course. So down there's the river that they keep talking about in all the plaques. A shattered truce. Since the 1795 Treaty of Greenville, Native Americans and settlers had reached a tenuous peace. But the War of 1812 saw a resurrection of old alliances. This time, The Native American alliance would follow Shawnee war chief Tecumseh into battle. Some tribes sent many warriors, others a few. Shawnee, Potawatomi, Kickapoo, Sac, Winnebago, Wyandot, Ottawa, Ojibwa, Seneca, and Delaware all reportedly participated in the war. My family is the Shawnee tribe, actually. Running a gauntlet. On May 5th, 1813, Colonel William Dudley and 800 Kentucky militia crossed the Maumee River, where they successfully disabled the British cannons firing on Fort Meigs. Colonel Dudley died during the raid. The rest of the militia ignored orders from officers and chased warriors into the woods. The militia lost its advantage, taking heavy fire from British troops and suffering many casualties. The wounded and survivors were then forced to run a gauntlet at Fort Miamis while British officers looked on. War Chief Tecumseh demanded the bloodshed be halted. Approximately 650 Americans were killed or captured in what became known as Dudley's defeat. What is a gauntlet? A form of punishment where victims are forced to run between two lines of people armed with weapons. That sounds terrible. Old Fort, New Battle. In 1813, Indians led by Shawnee War Chief Tecumseh and British troops from Fort Miamis attacked U.S. Fort Meigs, located across the river near what is now Perrysburg. General William Henry Harrison's soldiers, he would later become president, defended these attacks and later defeated British and Native forces at the Battle of the Thames near present-day Thamesville, Ontario, Canada. There's the river. What are you barking at? Jeez. What is that? There's all those hills they were talking about. This is all that's left of that British fort.